The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They prize support UK and Irish racing the night before.
Hello, a warm welcome to the Monday Racing Post Weekend Review Postcast. The team today is me, Bruce Millington. Alongside me in the studio, Nick Watts. On the phone, we've got Tom Siegel. And over in Ireland, from Paddy Power, Brendan Duke. We will be looking back on the Eclipse, looking ahead to the July meeting at Newmarket, which starts on Thursday, and some of the big flat races beyond. But first, we'd better pay tribute to the end of an era. Kieran Fallon at 51 announced this morning, broken in your Soaraway Racing Post, that he is retiring. King Kieran will ride no more. A controversial, sometimes glorious career is over. Let's take a moment to look back on our favourite Kieran Fallon highlights. Nick Watts, start us off. What springs to mind when you look back on the career of Kieran Fallon?
Well, if you wanted a controversial one, pulling Stuart Webster off his horse when he was a young man, you know, he's always been brilliant but controversial at the same time, so that's a memorable one. As for his rides, I mean, there's so many you could pick up on. Probably my one would be Hurricane Run, when he came with a really daring run up the inside rail in the arc and got there and beat Westerner close home. That was really a kind of a ballsy ride from Kieran, and that's what he was well known for, and that's the one I'll take with me.
And Tom, you're obviously, more than any other tipster I know, I think you factor jockeys into your calculations. Where did you have Fallon in his pomp?
When he was at his pomp, Bruce, I think he's the best jockey I've ever seen. I put him ahead of Ryan Moore. I thought he was absolutely sensational. I remember the race I remember was Chris Kinn's Derby. I don't think Chris Kinn was probably the third best horse in the race, let alone the best. Kieran won the race that day. He was sensational, never left the inside. A challenge at exactly the right time. Alan Shah was behind him, went on to win the King George. I don't think any other jockey would have won that day. I thought he was brilliant.
What was he? Tactics, strength, bravery.
Timing.
What was it?
Timing. I think a lot of all great sportsmen have impeccable timing. He just knew when to challenge, where to be at the right place. He knew tracks like the back of his hand. Tracks like Epsom and Ascot, he was sensational round. Probably wasn't at his best round Goodwood. I think he still struggled with Goodwood up until his retirement yesterday. But I thought him at Epsom was just like, he was 5 pounds in hand from the moment you saw him jocked up the morning before.
And Brendan, were you a Fallon fan?
Oh, huge fan. He's one of the two most compelling figures that I've ever seen. And
who's the other one?
Tiger.
Oh, right. You've got him right up there, have you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's absolutely... a personal highlight. It's interesting Tom mentions Goodwood, because my personal highlight he described as one of the worst rides he's ever given. But I was in Galway one year for the week, and I'd done my complete brains, and I had 250 quid left to my name. I couldn't even go racing. I was that depressed. So I went to the pub, and I had 50 quid for drinking and a juice for betting. So I went down, and Alexander Goldrun was running the Nassau. I thought she'd win, but that wasn't getting me out. But he was riding Gift Horse in the Stewards' Cup. So I've gone down and done a muggy juice double, the Goldrun and the Gift Horse. The Goldrun's gone in. The Gift Horse has got loose going down to the start. I'm head and hands. He's found him. He's got back on him. He's got interfered 2 furlongs out. But then, like he did at that time when he was in his pomp, he almost defied the laws of physics, and you could see him sort of getting there. And as one, we'd all backed him. The whole pub rose as a man and gave it the betting shop lean, and he's got it up right on the jam stick to get me out for the week.
Oh, fantastic. That must have come to a few quid. That doubled, didn't it, Brendan?
Well, it got me out. It got me out. A heroic... No one ever gets out. Well, you know, so you rarely hear about these stories. So he was just a heroic figure.
Oh, excellent. Good stuff. I think 24 hours that kind of summed up Kieran. I'd just taken over his editor in 2007, and you know, he got Dylan Thomas up, just about denied good old what's his face, Hume-Zane, of course, yeah. And then 24 hours later, he's in the dock at the start of that legendary court case. So
well,
yeah, he was a controversial figure.
Wise men to madness are near allied, and thin partitions do their bounds divide. Bruce,
beautiful.
Sums the king up, I think.
Who's that a quote from?
Dryden.
You're so knowledgeable, aren't you? I'm absolutely in awe of your literary knowledge.
No, well, I only know about 10 poetic lines. But
well, we must have got through about 8 of them by now.
Yeah, I tried to wedge them into these podcasts, so I'm running on empty now at this stage.
Excellent stuff. OK, well, on that note, we'll take a quick break and then we'll look back on the Eclipse.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP5 at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus, please gamble responsibly.
OK, so the Coral Eclipse was the highlight of the weekend. Hawkbill ground down the Gurkha. I don't think anyone is going to say that it was the most vintage eclipse. We've had some belters down the years, but that probably isn't going to prove to be one. But we do need to shine the spotlight on the front two, certainly, and see how good Hawkbill is, and indeed what for the Gurkha. Nick, I suppose the question for you is, when the flat season concludes, who from this point till then is going to go on to enjoy greater success, Hawkbill or the Gurkha?
Can I say neither of those?
Yeah, please do, yeah.
Can I say the third horse, Time Test? I thought it was a heroic run in third on ground that just didn't suit him at all. I turned on Sandown just before the first race and the skies were black and it was absolutely hosing down with rain.
Tom and I were there. It was absolutely unbelievable, Tom, wasn't it? It was ridiculous.
Ridiculous rain.
I can't believe Charlton ran him. I know why he did. It's obviously because if he didn't, then his whole summer campaign would have been ruined, because he missed Ascot because of similar weather, so he kind of felt compelled to run him, I think. He travelled through the race like the best horse, but he just started paddling when he was let down and he couldn't quicken. Still finished third. And I've got a strong feeling that by the end of the season, I think if it was a proper summer with good quick ground and some weather. It's a big if
that, Nick, the way it's going, isn't it?
It is.
Keep hoping, Nick.
But if we'd had that already, I think he would be murdering these horses. I think he'd be winning easily. I think he would have won the Prince of Wales. That form hasn't worked out at all. The Japanese horse didn't come to town at all. My Dreamboat used to be trained by Donald McCain. I don't think he was a top-class winner of the race, and he showed his true colours at the weekend. I think Time Test would be absolutely the dominant force in this division.
OK, so where are we going to make money out of backing Time Test? Which is the target that you think we should be homing in on?
Well, I think he's going for the international again, which again he was compromised slightly last season by ground factors. So it's a difficult one with him because he, as you can see at the weekend, he does need it quick. So you're taking a chance if you back him in advance. I did in the Prince of Wales, and it rebounded on me, and that's the chance you take. If we could rely on the weather, you'd see a real good horse here, I think.
You make a very compelling case then, Nick. Tom, what were your takeouts from the eclipse?
Well, as you say, Bruce, we were there. That rain came and it made it a really strange surface for me. Nothing was coming from behind all day. The pacemaker was fourth, didn't he? He only finished just on the heels of Time Test. I thought it was one of those surfaces where it just produced funny results. I wouldn't trust the form at all. I get Nick's point about Time Test being a lot better horse on fast ground. I wouldn't trust him at York, personally. I think the York ground there is shifty. I don't know if he'll like that. He didn't run very well.
Don't say that. You're going to have William Darby on to me again. You're always slagging York's going off, aren't you?
It's terrible ground. It's ground that no one can... Look at... Mark Johnson lives next door to York. He's trained hundreds and hundreds of winners over the year. He's got a 3%, 4% strike rate at York. His horses just don't handle it. Some horses do, some don't. I just don't think it's one of those surfaces that you can trust. Consequently, Time Test ran so badly in the Juddmonte last year. I know the ground was a bit soft that day, but I don't know what's going to happen up there. I like them. First of all, I think we've been a little bit down on Hawkbill, and certainly a little bit down on the Gurkha. I thought they ran... The Hawkbills have... He's got a progressive profile. He won at Ascot very easily. I don't know how much the form amounts to, but I thought he's tough, he's strong. I agree with you earlier when we were talking earlier, Bruce, about I think he needs to go up in trip. I think a race like the King George would suit him. I'm not as down on the form as many people think. They're two good 3-year-olds. It's hard to win as a 3-year-old, that race. I thought it was, 3 of the last, 15 have gone to 3-year-olds, and 2 of them were Derby winners, Golden, 2 of the best horses we've seen, Golden Horn and See the Stars. It's a hard thing to do to win that race as a 3-year-old. And
I suppose the other thing to remember, Tom, is that this is, much as we'd love it not to be the case, this is not a star-studded flat season, is it? So a lot of these prizes that you think, well, that's going to be out of his reach because there's going to be something, different class in there, but there's not going to be, is there?
I don't think so. There's definitely not many great older horses. We saw that again yesterday in the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud, didn't we? Whether they were all the first 3 were, horses that have been running against each other for ages now and all taking it in turns to win. I just don't think there is that many great older horses. We saw it at Royal Ascot. The American filly came over and won the mile race, and My Dreamboat won the Prince of Wales. So we're not looking at they've got to take on great horses.
OK, look, let's take a couple of races then and look at them from a betting perspective so that hopefully the listeners have got a couple of anti-post juicy ones to get stuck into. Brendan, first of all, let's look at the Juddmonte International. Now, I know it's not till the 17th of August, so we've got a bit of time to wait, but it's certainly going to be worth waiting for. What's the show of betting, and who would you be backing right now, Brendan?
It's currently 3-1 Time Test, 7-2 Postponed and Hawkbill, 7-1 the Gurkha, 8-1 US Army Ranger, 10-1 the Grey Gatsby, and 12-1 Bar.
Right.
I, like Nick, would be backing Time Test and hope that summer arrives sooner rather than later, because he's definitely going to run. I'm not sure Postponed will, and I haven't heard about your front page today. I don't think Hawkbill will. So he's definitely going to run. I know it's hard to back a horse that, if the ground goes against him, is going to be compromised. But I think
sounds like a bad bet to me at this stage, Brendan. The nip, don't know whether the ground's going to be. It's only 7-2, isn't it? You might as well wait, mightn't you?
Well, the only thing is, what price will he be if, say, Postponed, Hawkbill, the Gurkha, and all these? If he's only got to be
3-1.
The Grey Gatsby.
If he's only got to
5-2.
Would he be that? Would it be that big?
Well, there'll be something else turn up, won't there? It won't just be the two of them. There'll be, you never know what will be there.
Well,
That's true.
Where are they going to come from then, Tom?
Found. Found might be there. Some good.
So you're not having it. There's a bit of friction here because I think, Brendan, you'd be lumping on Time Test at this point. I guess you would, Nick. Would you? That 3-1 do it for you, or is it a bit early for you?
If I could eke out another point, that would be better, Bruce. But
speak to Brendan afterwards nicely.
4-1, definitely.
Okay, well look, we're not going to get resolution there. What about the Sussex Stakes? How are you betting on that, Brendan?
Okay, the Sussex Stakes, we are currently 13-8 Galileo Gold, 9-4 the Gurkha, 6-1 Bellardo, 8-1 Ribchester, 10-1 brings in Lamato and Time Test, and 12 Spar.
Nick?
I think I'd be tempted to go with the Gurkha. I thought he was not given the greatest ride at Ascot, and maybe he just didn't quite see it out at Sandown, admittedly on softer ground. So I think back to a mile would probably suit him.
Okay, Tom, who would you be backing for the Sussex at this stage?
I don't think I'll be backing. Aidan's not very. He's had a lot of hard races, these horses, doesn't he? This is the Gurkha's. He's been to the France, now he's been to Ascot, now he's been to Sandown, now he's going to Goodwood. I know they keep coming back for more, but he has lost his last two races. I don't think he's a superstar by any stretch of the imagination. Galileo Gold will like the track, we know that, but we're talking 7-4 here. I don't know. I was quite impressed with Ribchester at Ascot the other day. I thought he travelled through the race like a dream in the Jersey Stakes. I think a step up to a mile shouldn't be a problem for him.
He's held, though, isn't he, strictly speaking, on Newmarket form?
He's getting better, though, isn't he? I mean, I think on Newmarket form, that was, he's not that far behind him, is he? He was, beaten 3 lengths in the game? I think he's getting better. I could see him at, 10 or whatever it was to 1, serving it up to the front too, yeah.
Do you know what? And again, it's a massive if, but if the sun does deign to come out, I could see A-Rod being a big price.
Yeah.
We'll see. What about you, Brendan? Do you have a view on that? On the Sussex?
Not particularly. I'm a bit concerned about Galileo Gold and the Gurkha's demeanour before the race. Galileo Gold in Ireland and the Gurkha in his last 2 runs, they're just on the verge of boiling over, both of them, so I wouldn't have a strong view on it now.
Okay, right, well let's have a look at maybe some of the other horses in the other races over the weekend that caught your eye. What have you got for the horse tracker, Nick?
One that caught my eye massively was Brando. Not, it's easy to say that about a horse that's won, but it's the way he did it. I mean, he did tie up close home, but the way he travelled through the race, I thought he looked amazing, and certainly up to a better grade of race than that. If he chucked him in the Nunthorpe, I think he'd have a good chance. I thought he travelled like an absolute top-class horse, just tied up a bit close home, looked really, really good. The
jockey was looking round for, it looked like non-existent dangers, but then all of a sudden Monsieur Joe came out and became a very existent danger, so he was hanging on close home in the end. But you think he's got more to offer, do you, Brando?
Definitely. I was really impressed with him mid-race, definitely.
OK, Tom, who should our listeners fill their tracker with from your perspective?
Well, I fully endorse what Nick said there about Brando. I think he's a top-class sprinter. We all know that these handicappers have nothing much to find. I think he'll end up winning Group 1s, definitely. I thought over at Haydock, David O'Meara's horse who won the Old Newton Cup, Tordia, is a horse going places. I thought he won with plenty in hand, and it's a bit of a left field one. But at Sandown on Saturday in the last race, there's a horse running there called Imari.
I was going to say that one.
But no, it was
the only horse that did come from behind, wasn't it?
It was the only horse all day that came from behind. He's only rated 70 odd or something, but he was a bit unlucky not to win that race, and he was a 33 to 1 shot, 25 to 1 shot. I could see him, win some good races. He'll win some races, that's for sure.
Imari Kid. Brendan, What do you think? Who caught your eye?
Oh, I have a few. Just before, I should say to Nick that Brando is going for the Nunthorpe. The owner has a particular affection for York, so Kevin Ryan very helpfully to odds compilers said that was his target post-race.
So do you have a price there?
12 to 1.
12 to 1, okay, excellent. Right, now come on in. Who are your horses to follow?
Cliff Horse Donica again missed the break at Sandown. I thought he was eye-catching, but I do every time he runs. But I think he definitely has one of those big handicaps in him. That Snowano, I'm sure you saw that at Haydock, travelled like an absolute dream. Now, he's 94. Usually takes a little bit more to get into the John Smiths, but if he did get into it over 2 furlongs shorter, he'd be interesting. And that endless time of Godolphins, what an attitude she has. I find it hard not to back her anywhere she goes. She just loves the game, put her head down and toughed it out. And I think even better ground might help her a bit more.
OK, let's get stuck into the Newmarket July Festival.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav at one meeting every day this month. Paddy Power, you're welcome. Max free bet £25, 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Hi there, Bruce Millington, Nick Watts, Tom Siegel, and from Paddy Power, Brendan Duke. We've looked back on the weekend. Let's look forward to 3 days of excellent action at Newmarket. One of the highlights of the summer, it's the Newmarket July Festival. It used to be called the July Meeting, but you can't call them meetings anymore. They have to be festivals. Starts on Thursday. Weather looks like it's going to be quite nice, actually, so that's good news. And I guess, obviously, the highlight is the July Stakes, the July Cup even on Saturday. It's that ridiculous Saturday, isn't it, where there's a group race going off roughly every 5 minutes, and it's all a bit breathless and you can't quite digest it until this time next Tuesday. But the July Cup is the highlight, and how do you bet on that, Paddy Power?
Well, it's just come down for the 5 days, Bruce, but one of my people has come in and handed me the new information that Profitable has been supplemented for the race, making it even more fascinating. So we'll be something like 5 to 1 Joints, Twilight Sun, Magical Memory, 6 to 1 Profitable, 8 to 1 Lamato and Quiet Reflection, and 10 Spar, something in and around that. OK,
if you had to have a bet right now, which you don't, but for the purposes of making this more interesting, pretend you do, who would you back, Brendan?
I think I'd back Jungle Cat. 20 to 1 out there. He ran a huge race at Newmarket behind Profitable. Looks like he wants 6 furlongs. Ran a fine race over 5 in Ascot as well on ground that wouldn't have suited. And it's pretty dry over there at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's drying out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nick, have you put one up for this already?
Yeah, I had a little bit on Dan Zeno a little while ago. The question with him is is he actually good enough? Is he a Group 1 sprinter? He's verging on it. And 2 good runs this season. 3rd behind Magical Memory at York, a race-fit Magical Memory when he ran really well. And only just touched off at Salisbury last time behind Don't Touch, who a lot of people fancy for this race as well. Didn't have the best of draws that day. Problem is, there always seems to be something that prevents him, actually nailing one of these big races. But hopefully, if he puts it all in, I don't think he's far away.
You'll keep the faith in Dan Zeno. And Tom, don't give away who you're going to tip, but who you're leaning towards.
Well, I'm absolutely staggered. Nick didn't mention Kotai Glory, but
he did
6
well,
furlongs,
didn't
Tom. 6 furlongs.
All right. I like Lamato as a horse. I think I've always been a massive fan of Lamato. I personally think he's 6 furlongs will be on the short side, but I still think he's got it in him to win a good race. I don't think, I'm just listening to Harry Bentley the other day talking about the two of them, and he said Lamato thrashes Twilight Sun at home, but Twilight Sun's one of those horses that is just so hard and professional that you couldn't guarantee that being replicated on the track. So I like Lamato as a horse. I think he's destined to win a top race at some stage this season.
OK, Friday's highlight is the notorious Group 1.5 Falmouth Stakes.
This is a really good race, Bruce, isn't it?
Is this over and done within a word, Usherette?
What do you think, boys? Look, she's absolutely brilliant, and she deserves to win a Group 1. But I think this is a good race. You've got the 3-year-olds in there as well.
It's good, isn't it? Actually,
Yeah.
I was a bit pithy there by calling it a Group 1.5, but I think this field is absolutely proper Group 1 mungus, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Take us through the runners and prices, Brendan.
Usherette is 8 to 11. 5 to 1 Nemeralia, 6 to 1 Alice Springs, 10 to 1 brings in Amazing Maria and Ballydoyle, 12 to 1 Euro Charlene, and 16's Bar. And
stick with you, Brendan, for a thought on the race.
I think Nemeralia. I was impressed with her run. I know Alice was unlucky in Alice was unlucky in the run, but Nemerali was unlucky with the ground. The way things are drying out, I think that's a fair price each way against the Fav.
Okay, Nick?
Yeah, I'd agree with Brendan. I think Nemeralia, she's a fast ground filly and didn't get that at Ascot, but still ran really well.
She ran really well, didn't she?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, Nacida was going to pull the horse out at the beginning of the week. That's how touch and go it was. Usher at 8 to 11, a bit short for me, so Nemeralia definitely at 5 to 1.
And Tom, who do you think?
I think, as I say, I think it's a really good race. I think Usherette is, you know, the way Andre Fabre talks about it, is past the post. I don't think she's that far ahead of them. I'm a big fan of Amazing Maria and Euro Charlene. I think they're top-class fillies too. They've both seriously got good Grade 1 form. I think they're two big prices, 12 to 1 or whatever they are.
Okay. And on Thursday, let's have a quick look at Thursday. What should we go with? The July Stakes or the Prince of Wales? Who wants to talk? Well,
I had a look at the Prince of Wales on the way.
Go on, we'll go with that.
And John Gosden's horse that ran so well, and Nick will have probably seen this one in the King Edward Muntaha or whatever it is. You know, he's entered in the Bahrain Trophy over on that day as well, and then he's in the Prince of Wales. I like 3-year-olds in the Prince of Wales. They get an awful lot of weight against horses that aren't really top class. It's a Group 2, and they're getting a lot of weight. So I'd be very interested if John Gosden's horse ran in the Prince of Wales is there. I'm
looking at the Paddy Power prices here, Brennan. They're all a bit skinny, mate. I've got to say, come on, I'm going to shame you into reading them out here, but we seem to take an awful long time to get down to the double figures here, considering we've got 15 to 8 Fav.
Yes,
I don't want to incinerate our close relationship then get the sponsorship ripped up. But what's going on here?
No, not at all. Well, I suppose it's, as Tom mentioned, it's to do with like that Muntaha, for example. It looks like Johnny G's Ledger horse, and he usually runs his Ledger horse in the Bahrain Trophy. So if he didn't run, that's 14%.
There's a few doubts about them, aren't there?
Yeah.
Righty-ho.
Yeah. So it's 15 to 8 excess fare, 100 to 32nd step, 9 to 2 Elite Army, 6 to 1 Big Orange, and the Grey Gatsby. He's another one who's probably not going to run. 6 to 1 Muntazah, 7 to 1 Muntaha, 8 to 1 Red Verdon, 12's Battersea, and 14 Revolutionist.
And if we're having a bet at this stage, Nick, who are we backing?
I'd go with Exosphere. I know it's boring, but
that's not boring.
Two bad runs at Ascot. It may just not be his course, and you know, I just fancy him to get back on track. He looked very good on this first run this season. Just a quick one for the July Stakes. Really like Godolphin's horse Silver Line in that third in the Norfolk. Really needs another furlong, gets it here, so I'd fancy Silver Line too.
Okay, fine. Now listen, if you'll pardon me, folks. This flat talk's all well and good, and it's quite interesting, but I'm not getting that excited about the flat season. I'm really not. So, do you remember that scene in the office where they're all training? They've got that training session,
yep.
And it all goes completely wrong. And David Brent turns to, I think it's Gareth Brooke, and says, "Get the guitar." This is my kind of equivalent of get the guitar. Brendan, get the Cheltenham Gold Cup show up. Come on, let's have a good chat about the Cheltenham Gold Cup. I know it's miles away. I know loads of people say, "Oh, for God's sake, don't start building it up now." But I'm going to have a quick 30-second segment on the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and we're going to start with Brendan's show of betting when he's ready.
Certainly, just give me.
You've got the fastest fingers in this game, so it shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, you threw me a bit of a curveball there.
I've thrown everyone a bit of a curveball. Nick's looking very puzzled.
Indeed.
Tom's got it all sorted.
I'm stuffed. I'm here.
Tom's got it all sorted. Come on, here we go.
Okay, here we go. It's competitive. 6 to 1 Joint Favs Thistlecrack and Don Cossack, 8 to 1 Vautour, 10 to 1 Q Card, 12 to 1 Duvan, 14 to 1 brings in Coneygree, 16 to 1 Jack Adam, more of that, Carlingford Lock, and Vroom Vroom Mag, and 25's Bar.
Doesn't it feel good hearing those names, Nick Watts, eh? That feels really good, doesn't it? Come on then, a quick sentence each. If we're having a bet now on the Gold Cup, who are we going to back? Nick Watts.
Jack Adam, 16 to 1, been placed in it twice before, each way, cracking price.
Okay, Tom?
You shout at me when I say this, Bruce, but I'm going to say Vautour. We can't have Don Cossack because he's injured. We can't have Thistlecrack, he's never run over the fences. Duvan's going for the Queen Mum. Coneygree, he's been injured. Jack Adams not fast enough. Q-Card will be 56. Vautour-Lido's not good enough. There we go, Vautour, done.
Brilliant, well played. Brendan Duke.
Manello Rocco at a huge price.
What price is he?
Well, we're 33 to 1, but I think there's 50s about.
Excellent. I did enjoy that. Thank you very much.
What about the Galway Plate, Bruce? I thought that's where you were going when you started on this jump stuff.
Well, have you got one then? Have you got one for the Galway Plate?
Road to Riches is entered, didn't it? I thought that was fascinating over the weekend reading that Road to Riches, a proper Grade 1 group, a Gold Cup horse placed in the Gold Cup was running in the Galway Plate. It's going to make it. I love that race. I think it's fantastic, and to have him in it makes it even better.
I can hear the sound of Brendan's digits dancing over his keyboard like Rachmaninoff there to get a show for us.
You know me too well. 8-1 Road to Riches Fav. 10-1 brings in Free Expression and Sham Palace. 14-1 Empire of Dirt, The Killer Crow and Longhouse Hall, and 16's Bar.
Look at that, what a race, can't wait. Forget Goodwood, it's the Galway Plate.
Stuff, absolute Philistines. Oh, God.
Excellent stuff. Well done, lads. I think we've ended on a high note there with some nice jump section. We will be back on Friday looking at an absolutely monumentally, ludicrously busy day of top quality flat action. Join us for that.
The Racing Postcast in association with Paddy Power. They prize support UK and Irish racing the night before.